Today, Precarious plays Transistor. Think that there's something that I kind of want to talk about very briefly.
Yeah.
I think it will work better as a monologue where I speak on behalf of both of us, just so that way we don't get dragged into a long, sad conversation.
Okay, I'm preparing my emitters.
Aha. I see. I've been speaking in vagaries for a long while.
It's all in the books. Getting wiped out.
It's been a bad year. And I was talking in the last couple of sessions about how I'm tired and I'm not focused.
Of course.
How can I say this really succinctly? We live in the United States of America.
Let's check across the
We have a big election coming up. We are in a situation that people will try to make political. And I can tell you, it is only political if you make it that way. This is observable, quantifiable, and most importantly, comparable. This is the way our country handled COVID is observably awful. They fucked it up again and again.
Yeah. It's not even past tense, really.
Yeah.
Asher can wait.
So, a lot of people would try to make it political, and it isn't. It's not. Whenever you can look at other countries, and there's a figure, you can assign a number to it, you can compare it directly and see that something went very wrong here. There is an opportunity for the group most responsible for that failure to be diminished in some capacity in just a couple months, and it is wildly stressful. So the tiredness, the lack of focus
Time to race the clock.
is probably going to keep up for at least that long. It's something worth losing sleep over, I think. I mean, so now we can just... That's it. That's the heart of what I wanted to say.
I am not myself, and it is in the air.
Purge, and I don't know what this one is, but it has ping on it. That seems neat. I just remember talking with my general practitioner sometime, I think, last year, and expressing dissatisfaction with the world. And I remember being pretty cheesed off because I mean, he's my doctor, he's trying to help. So he said something to the effect of it's just politics. It's just, yeah, this was before the last year. But it's just politics. You're stressing out about something that you don't need to, right? Nothing that you can't do anything about it, and it's not that big of a deal. It's just a lot of political talk, trying to be a help, and it was not. It is, that kind of talk is not a help for me.
Yeah, that kind of don't worry about it. It's like,
No, all you've managed to do today, man, all you've managed to do is make me think that I need a more responsible doctor.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to continue that conversation because that conversation is continuing outside of this happy place
Asher can wait.
pretty much non-stop at this point. But all I have to say to that is, yeah.
I don't know if I know enough about
Time to race the clock.
these functions to do this one, because I'm not sure what this does. It seems to be some sort of debuff.
Are you going to be able to come back and do this trial again? Or is this an opportunity that is possible to miss?
I should be able to do it again. Like they've been pretty good about providing okay, so 175% weekend. So 211. $122. Okay, so it just makes them more vulnerable to damage. Does purge stack? Does not stack. Well, thank you for answering my question. Well, that's unfortunate because that means it takes 3. That kind of sucks because it's like not quite enough damage to kill a snapshot, and it will take several applications to kill a fetch.
Mm-hmm.
Void, and then okay. Oh, can it hit more than one? Let's try this.
What is it called?
What is what called?
The power that you're trying to use right now.
Void.
And why haven't you had an opportunity to mess with it until now?
Because it's new.
Oh, just brand spanking new.
I've just never had it before.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the reason.
Did it not seem useful, or?
It's never been made available to me in the main campaign. I can't, there's no more information there to share, man.
Okay.
Because of a sinister cover-up. It's the Camerata all along.
They stole it from you.
I had the power, but then they made me tell you, I'm sorry I lied to you. I had it once. It was in my pocket, but then the Camerata made me give it back. There, is that what you've been looking for? The
Yes.
dark secret?
The darkest of secrets. Ugh. If you don't do it this time, maybe we should just come back and you can noodle around with it more on your own.
Yeah.
I like the word noodle.
Not me.
Why not?
Well, it just doesn't seem like an upright word that is of good moral character.
No. I like it. It's a verb I can eat. I really like it. Ah. Huh.
How about this?
This is definitely one of the slower of these challenges I've seen you do.
I don't think I'm gonna make it though, because I still have to collect all of the cells. Well, okay, no. Actually, I guess I did it.
Okay, cool.
Short and sweet.
That still doesn't feel very satisfying though. That felt really sloppy.
Well, can you try it again?
Maybe once you clear them all, you can pick them from a list, but at present, no.
Okay.
It's quiet. Most of the doors are sealed shut.
Hey, there's a whole nother wing up there that I don't remember.
Ooh.
Yeah, latest branch.
Well, aren't we now past where you remember?
Yeah.
Isn't that bad? It's no
I wonder how
problem.
big your tree gets.
I don't know.
I mean, it looks like it has a lot of potential to grow. Look how huge the Skybox is. The beautiful Skybox.
I think it's an album reference.
Let's try 4 again.
So going back to the story for a minute, the last major thing that happened was the Camerata revealed what we thought, well, not all along, but what we were getting the hints of, that they were trying to do something and it got out of their hands.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were trying to, restore some good old day type stuff?
No, I don't think that's been revealed yet. They were... I think that the gentlest way I could describe it is it kind of sounds like they were trying to make an art commune.
Mm-hmm.
Just going about it in a very...
Murderous.
A very destructive way.
Yeah. I can't... I cannot stand those little paparazzi cameras. They are my least favorite thing. I don't know. Maybe they're actually great because of how annoying they are. Maybe they're actually really good, like as far as game design goes, but boy do I hate them. Every time one shows up, like I internally go, ugh. What?
Transistor called me out.
What did he say?
I realized, like, I bet I could crack that thing in one if I backstabbed it under the effective mask.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, poof, and then hit a jerk from behind under the effective mask, and yeah, it blew it apart. And Transistor called me a show-off.
That's cute. There's an awful lot of detail in this game. I don't know, we were pretty upset at the last boss situation, though. But I've kind of relaxed and come back around to, oh, that's neat. Have you, or do you feel like it's still a lot?
No, I still think it was pretty,
All right.
pretty bland. You know?
Bland as in the boss battle was bland?
Yeah, it was just sort of...
Bland in its toughness?
No, it was just a big creature that was doing a lot of stuff. Just, here's a lot of cells, and here's a pointy tail with a big old AoE. I have not warmed to it.
You know what boss I really enjoyed fighting?
What?
The most memorable boss that's coming to my mind at this moment is one of the Metroid Prime bosses.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what it's called because I'm not good at those types of facts, but it was an entire room. It was flower-shaped. It involved all of your stuff. Actually, you know what? Most of the bosses in Metroid Prime were really memorable and look like awesome. And I mean that in a very literal sense. Like, you go around and you're like, yeah, awe-inspiring, like, oh, wow. Except for those stupid space pirates. I never like fighting them. I never like fighting the space pirates. But I don't know if I would call them bosses. I mean, there were some hard space pirate fights, but...
I don't like the Chozo ghosts myself. I feel like they're... Like, the first couple of times... They're interesting and kind of spooky, but once you lose that fear of them, it's mainly just sort of a tedious waiting game. Like, they can go through materials and I can lose them and I have to flip through all the visors and junk. And
most of the Zelda bosses I've come across are pretty fun. I especially liked that one Big Poe.
In Wind Waker?
Yeah, he was my favorite Wind Waker boss, because he was spooky. Well, it's not because he was spooky. That's just the thing that I remember that was most endearing about it. But I liked it because like when there was a lot to it in layers, and it was difficult and made me feel clever at the same time. And whenever I was doing something wrong, I was like, nope, didn't do it right. And it was like my fault, you know? It was clear what needed to happen. It didn't take very long to figure out.
The hell?
What? What?
That's nothing new. They've always done that, but I was right beside it, and it didn't get hit, didn't explode.
Anyway, like, I like bosses that are difficult,
More to work with.
but have some sort of trick that is hinted at so that you feel clever, but also,
Final round.
you know, not just overwhelmingly damage dealing. I like bosses that let me have a little bit of time with them. You know, like a good D&D encounter. It's not over in 2 rounds, but it has depth. It has phases.
Right, get out of there.
Didn't like that.
I'm trying to think of other bosses. Oftentimes, the bosses that give me the most trouble, but that I find most satisfying, are like when I fight things that are most like me. Like,
That's funny that you say that, because I remember a particular time where that was very much not the case.
no, I know which time you're thinking of. I know which time you're thinking of. Well, at least I think I do. Are you thinking of the time where our party fought like dark mirror versions of ourselves while we were being drowned in gold at the same time? Or was that happening after or at the same time? I can't remember.
No, that was a different challenge in the same dungeon.
Okay.
Crowd goes wild.
It has been some time has passed, and those memories are starting to morph together. But were you thinking about the mirror people?
Yeah.
I think that despite how angry I was at the moment,
You were weirdly resistant at the start of that. You were like, no, that's dumb.
I was mad. I was just showing all my feelings, okay?
Hi, Luna.
It was maddening.
That's
But
girl.
in retrospect, that was one of the more memorable, exciting fights that was part of that campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think about it. And, like, we survived, and it was really hard. It was really, really challenging.
It was, thinking back on it, it was kind of a dick move.
Yeah, it was.
Probably not for the reason you're thinking. Why would you say it was a dick move?
Fun.
It was difficult. It was really difficult, and I wasn't expecting it, and it was scary. Because I was like, oh, I'm a badass. I don't want to fight me. That's what I was thinking.
Well, so here's the thing. They were not you guys. They were monster versions of you guys with different stats. Mm-hmm. But it does give you the impression that I'm basically saying, like, yeah, I can take all of your characters and beat you with yourselves. Now, I mean, like, that's a fallacy. A good dungeon so I'm going to spoil something about dungeon mastering, about role-playing games in general. The DM can always beat you. It's never a fair fight. If you've been left with the impression that you were participating in a fair fight, then the dungeon master has succeeded. and has done their most important job, which is constructing a convincing artifice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I hope that you guys felt like it was a really close one. Meanwhile, I'm just sort of like eyeing things like, okay, so that should run out right about now. And then, you know, in my testing, whichever character was supposed to lose on my team first did, and it's like, okay, we're on track.
I had a good time. In retrospect, it was fun.